Welcome back to Getting Her to Say I Do, my video dating vlog as I go through the journey of getting happy and healthy and loving myself and discovering who I am as a person and then finding someone I like enough to pursue in a relationship and then engaging them and then getting married and then all that fun stuff. Last week, no, it's about 2 weeks ago actually. We were going into Thanksgiving, and it was what, Tuesday, maybe a couple days before things, probably Tuesday, and nope, it was Monday, and yeah, I kind of mentioned that my mom had gotten the virus. She ended up passing away actually that night, that morning. And so this caused a lot of issues with my emotions, a whole lot of issues. And so I have officially suppressed them and I am compartmentalizing them so that I can function because I cannot deal with it right now. And I know that that's unhealthy, but I don't know. Honestly, don't know how to deal with this. Um, we already had the service last week, um, and it's difficult for everyone. It's been extremely difficult. And then I guess Saturday, her friend passed away. So it's just been a lot to just kind of deal with, engage. And so, one thing that is extremely important to me is marriage and kids. And I'm really like sitting here thinking like my kids are never gonna meet their grandma. Like she's not gonna be there when I get married. She's not gonna be there like none of that stuff. Like she's not gonna be there. And I've suppressed all this stuff, so I'm not finna sit here and dwell on these either. But it's definitely difficult. I've talked with my siblings a lot, and they have similar feelings. My nieces and nephews as well. Um, so it sucks. It sucks a lot, and it was 2 days before Thanksgiving also. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I don't like this crap. So yeah, dating is stupid. I don't get this stuff. I met this girl. She was awesome. Thought she was awesome. And we talked, we started talking like the same day. But I didn't tell her what was going on because when you initially meet someone, you don't want to overwhelm them with all your junk. And I'm just not want to put my issues on anyone. And also with people being empathetic and stuff, they may fixate more so on you than they intend to because you're in a tragedy and stuff like that. So that's not at all what I wanted. I wanted to be organic. I wanted to be real. But she also had mentioned like seeing her, whoever she's dating or whatever, in like all those seasons of life. So I was like, maybe it would help to be transparent and open about what's going on in my life because this is a big deal. And I can remember previously in relationships where I would keep things back and it would cause issue later on. So I divulged that. And that was cool. We talked pretty much every day until the point where we've talked pretty much every day since then, until the point where I've kind of gotten dependent on her conversations and communication. Not having, like, I'm sitting here looking at my brothers and my sisters, like they all have like best friends, they all have significant others or like people that they're with, like they can go lay up under and cuddle with and just talk to and share stuff. And like I've talked to them, and like the night it happened, I hung out with my sister and we just kind of cried together. But I don't have that, and it's difficult to go through because that's what I long for, and I've struggled within myself with desires that I know that I have surrendered to God, but still the intimacy of those desires is what I long for, not necessarily that desire, but that's how you get that intimacy oftentimes. So I've been wrestling with that. Really just kind of went blase with the whole thing, and I kind of like ran away from God. Honestly, for a couple of days, I was like, because I didn't go to church that Sunday. I stayed down with my family, and like I wasn't as intentional about spending time with God. I wasn't as in depth whenever like tragedy hits. And it's weird because I kind of felt like something was getting ready to happen because God was pulling me or drawing me in, like read more, read more. Like my spirit was more burdened with spending time with God, and that generally happens before there's something big that happens that I'm going to need to depend on that. And I wasn't really there. Um, so like when it happened, I just did my devotion. Like I would read a passage in the morning, or read a chapter, or read whatever in the morning, and then I would do like a little soap over it. And then the rest of the day, I wasn't really with God. I wasn't praying as intentionally. I wasn't praying um, as devotedly as I should have been or I normally do. So that was something that I was wrestling with, and I'm still struggling with, because I have these desires and I want to fulfill these desires, and I know that these desires are ungodly, but at the same time I'm in love with God and He is mine and I am His. So I'm wrestling with this because I want Him, but I also want these things. So I'm wrestling with these things. And then just like the whole sorting through stuff, going through stuff, bills, paperwork, possessions, like all this, it's just so much junk going on, and it's kind of overloading. And so I started to begin to like depend on this girl for my peace and for my escape, because we would talk on the phone for hours. I hate talking on the phone. But we would talk for hours, and I would literally like, I would laugh and I would enjoy the conversations. We would go in depth and I would understand and know more. And like I was like, okay, cool. So we're actually talking in my head. And then this comes up that, I'm not intentionally dating until I know that person, and until then I'm going to still talk to other people. And my initial thought was, duh, it ain't real till you got options and choose not to have options. Until I started to think about it a little bit more, and I realized that, like, if I would call her and she wouldn't answer, or something like that, the thought came to my mind, maybe she's not busy, like life busy. Maybe she's talking to another guy. And that's not okay with me. And I'm kind of uncomfortable. And so I talked to my brother because he got the game. And he was like, yeah, like dating is basically friendship. You're not in a relationship. You guys are seeing if you're compatible, if you like each other, and you're still playing the field to see. And then once you find someone that you think is that, or you're sure about, then you advance to exclusivity or whatever. But you gotta walk through each process or step of this relationship. And I was looking at that like, that makes sense. Cause like when we started talking, I was talking to a couple other people, kinda. But I quickly like did away with them. I was like, yeah, we're talking on the phone, so this is intentional. Like we're intentionally spending time together. So I started removing other people and cutting people off in that respect, or allowing them to cut themselves off. But I don't like that. This isn't like, for me, I'm not interested in investing time into someone because time is the most important thing to me. I'm not interested in investing time into someone when I don't get the return of the relationship that I'm desiring. Granted, I am a competitor to the highest level. I compete in everything. But a woman, not interested in competing for. So I began to weigh my options. So I was finishing her text like, I'm not interested in doing whatever it is that you got going on. But I kind of stopped and took a step back and was like, either way, whether it's her or someone else, it's going to take time for me to get to know this person and see if they are actually who I want to be with, and if we're compatible, and if I enjoy them. But I also need to know what my boundaries are and what I'm comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with. I'm still wrestling with and going through this whole process of emotions of how I feel about this dating situation or whatever it is. And I'm not sure. However, I will hold my tongue and my peace so I don't say or do anything that I'm going to want to um, take back later on. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I went back to work, kind of, and I've been working on stuff and doing stuff. So that's really cool. But I've also been kind of busy. Just there's so much stuff to do. She has a whole apartment that we have to clean out and storage and all this other stuff, and it's just so much going on. But yeah, my heart's broken. I'm sad as crap. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel with this, and people are so annoying, so freaking annoying. Like, I remember the night it happened. I went to the hospital just because I feel like I needed to see the body to just like deal with it, or for like it to be real. And so I went to the hospital, and they're like, they did. The nurse or whoever he was walked out and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Type of stupid question is that? What do you mean, how's it going? Like, are you, what? I just told you why I'm here, right? And so they take me in this little side room and was like, hey, and I don't know, they were just being like all these formalities and all this other stupid stuff. And it was so frustrating. And then it goes to the point where I've been here for like 10 minutes. And then he tells me, well, she's not here. You could have told me that 10 minutes ago, and I could have left and not had to do any of this that you're trying to do with me and this information, all this other. So it was very traumatizing, and it was almost a week until we even got to see her. So it's been difficult, and I'm not processing it because I don't want to right now, and I will. Just I want to get all the stuff taken care of first, and then I can sit down and do it. But also, I don't want to do it by myself, and that's another big thing that I'm holding out on. Like, I want to like make this journey with someone else, and maybe it should be one of my siblings because they understand more so. But I also wanted to be someone who's not related to it in any way. Um, yeah, my desires aren't what they should be, and I'm sorting through those. But counseling has came up several times. I'm not going to counseling. I really just need a safe place to just vent and be vulnerable and weak. That's definitely the aim. But other than that, I haven't done anything that I regret yet, so that's really good, and I pray that I don't, because I still want to be pure and keep myself for the woman that I have. But it's definitely been a difficult little journey, and I honestly feel like it's just beginning. So that's pretty much all that's occurred and happened in my life, in my day. So in my since the last time we spoke. So thank you guys for tuning in, getting her to say I do, and just kind of lift up my family. Pray for us and cover us as we're attempting to figure this out because we don't know what this is. God bless you, and have a good day.